Right, so tomorrow night, big night for the president, delivers his first State of the Union address. Remember, during his inaugural address last year, we heard a darker tone, American carnage, right? That was then a few weeks later followed by a much more uplifting, hopeful message before a joint session of Congress. So what will tomorrow night bring? First, remember this moment.
The crime and the gangs and the drugs that have stolen too many lives and robbed our country of so much unrealized potential. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. We want harmony and stability, not war and conflict. We want peace wherever peace can be found. Hopefully, the 250th year for America will see a world that is more peaceful, more just, and more free.
Joining us, senior editor of The Atlantic, David Frum. He was, of course, a speechwriter for President George W. Bush, and CNN presidential historian Tim Naftali, director of the Nixon Presidential Library. Gentlemen, nice to have you here. And David, for anyone who doesn't know, when you wrote President Bush's 2002 inaugural, Axis of Evil is what we all remember. If you were writing this address for tomorrow night, what would you coin? What would be the term?
Well, look, I don't think I would take that job. But
putting that aside,
President Trump doesn't have to come up with a memorable phrase. Look, if he gets through an hour without putting a fork in somebody's eye, he will be praised as the most presidential president since the most presidential president.
Just for sticking to prompter?
Just for not doing something hideous. I mean, that there's a special Trump scale where he is graded differently from any other president.
Yeah,
if he just behaves like a functioning human being for an hour, we think he's done a great job.
All right, Tim Naftali, look at the Davos speech he gave at the end of last week. I mean, there was nothing really exciting about that. It was very much a script. He went after the media for 1 second. We can deal with that. That's fine. But you say this, I mean, the inaugural had Bannon, see Bannon written all over it. Okay, right. Bannon's out. And unless he's calling up the White House, I don't know that they're good friends right now. This is going to be Bannon light, if Bannon at all. You say Stephen Miller obviously will have, speechwriters going to have a big impact on this. So what do you think is going to be different, though, from the inaugural?
Well, the president's approval ratings are sticking below 40%, right? And we saw a change in his rhetoric regarding immigration, the proposal that they floated a little over a week ago. If that's a harbinger of a new tone on immigration, that's going to suggest a post-Bannon rhetoric.
A path to citizenship for 1.8 million.
A path to citizenship, which some in the Republican Party would call amnesty.
Sure. And
not just talking about 700,000 people, but 1.3 million people in broad. So he's going beyond what his hardcore base would expect of him. Is this the new Trump administration? Or is this just some kind of balloon that he floated? So that's the test. The State of the Union could be, in this case, a signal about a rhetorical shift in this administration, which would make it a more consequential State of the Union than usual.
Do you think, David Frum, we will see that, a president realizing, 36, 38% approval rating, this base is not enough to get me over the finish line next time around, and I need to broaden it out? I mean, look what we saw him go further with parts of this immigration plan than President Obama in terms of a path to citizenship for Dreamers. Yes, there are other parts that many Democrats just can't stomach, but do you think that this is that shift perhaps we're seeing from the president?
Well, I expect Donald Trump's numbers to improve in 2018, lifted by the strength of the economy and especially by the rising wages. That we do see at last that the growth in the economy that's gone now for 7 years is affecting the labor market. So that should give him a boost. I think the conventional view on what is a popular immigration platform may differ somewhat from what is actually a popular immigration platform. More and more liberal is not the most popular approach in immigration.
Tim, you say this is the opportunity to see what you call the real Donald Trump. What do you mean? You don't think we've seen that yet?
Oh, no. I suggested that I'm not sure who the real Donald Trump is, because the way in which he seems more opportunistic than anything else. So let's see what Donald Trump he presents to the people of the United States. The question I have is whether he wants to just be president of the red counties. Does he actually want to enlarge the base and be presidential for everyone? I mean, is he capable of it? This is an opportunity for him to stop talking to just a sectarian group in our society, but to actually lay out themes that would have much broader appeal.
David Frum, you say the bar is so low for this president, right? So what would reach your bar to make you say, huh, Surprise to the upside.
I don't have any questions left about Donald Trump. He has answered every question I have. I know, and I think we all know who he is. We all know what he is. We all know why he's president. We all know who got him into that job. So I think the question for all of us is how do we protect the country during the remainder of his presidency? But there are no serious questions left about what kind of person he is and what kind of president he is.
There's nothing you're looking for to stand out in this speech. I mean, is the Donald Trump you're talking about the one that you expected to propose a path to citizenship, not just for dreamers, but for would-be dreamers?
Look, you can train a seal to sit on the side of a pool for an hour and behave itself. That doesn't make it no longer a seal. And I think if Donald Trump can get through an hour of good behavior, I mean, he's done that before. But that doesn't tell you what's going to happen at an hour and 5 minutes.
Well, that's interesting because, Tim, followed by the president's remarks will be the Democratic response from Representative Joe Kennedy, and then Twitter, right? So what do we see on Twitter from this president afterwards?
Well, I mean, this is the point that you know, David is, I think, partly making, which is that there is an erratic sense to this man that you can predict. I mean, he's had so many opportunities to behave, to actually to focus his message and to, you know, repeat his message, but he is the one who upsets it all the time. He's the one who steps on his own applause line. So we can anticipate personal fights, personalized attacks, distraction. The State of the Union might suggest, however, a broader theme than American carnage, and I'm here, and I'm going to fix everything. David is absolutely right that he's shown us that he's a man who doesn't believe that the office is bigger than him. Most of our presidents generally come into the Oval Office and they think, this job is bigger than I am. He has been making the job as small as he is. This State of the Union might be an opportunity to do better. That's all. He's going to be president for, you know, at least another 3 years. We can't afford for him to be dragging us down. This is his opportunity to move us forward and upward.
Tim Naftali, David Frum, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.